Alrighty, the Padres, they snapped their losing streak, a 7-4 win in game one of this mini two-game set against the Giants at Petco Park. Going in, it was going to be an interesting pitching matchup. Logan Webb on the mound for the Giants, Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres, and the Padres were able to get to Logan Webb. I mean, going into this, I'm pretty sure the Padres hit Logan Webb pretty darn good last year. And so, once I heard that, I forget which show I was listening to on the radio today, but they were talking about that. And I was like, all right, I'm liking our chances a little bit better, especially, you have Nick Pivetta on the other side. It's not like you have this huge question mark on the other side. And Pivetta, again, delivered the 5 1/3, 3 earned run total. I don't think that, you know, totally accurately describes how good he was tonight. Only one walk, 9 punch outs. It was Estrada that came in after him and did give up some of those runs. And I thought, by the way, the hit that Estrada gave up there, what inning was that? That was in the sixth inning. The Jung-Hoo Lee one, I want to say that was Pivetta. Pivetta was still pitching. Yeah, Pivetta was still pitching. That ball was a breaking ball down in the zone. I don't think that was a terrible pitch. And then the Lamont Wade Jr. double down the line. That pitch was outside the strike zone and it went down the line. That's just a good piece of hitting. And to me, I thought that Diaz, his reaction behind the plate, I don't know if that was a missed spot. It was outside the zone, and I think he was just pissed that Wade got to that ball and it ends up being fair down the left field line. That's all. But Pivetta, we saw the fire, the competitive fire. There was the question of, was the Giants tipping, not tipping, not Pivetta tipping pitches, but were the Giants trying to tip to their batters with the guy with I think it was Patrick Bailey on second base, trying to tip, okay, where's the location of this pitch coming to that batter when Yaz was up at the plate. Pivetta still strikes him out and then turns around and probably yells some choice words out there to Bailey. So that was awesome. I love that competitiveness from him. And I've already said this multiple times, but when you see someone like, you have the Joe Musgrove absence, obviously. And I'm not saying Michael King's not a competitor. Dylan Cease not a competitor. These guys in this rotation, not competitors. They are. But Pivetta, to me, replaces Musgrove in that, like, dog type role, if that makes sense. So I'm loving seeing Nick Pivetta in this rotation. And then you've got sub-2 ERA guys that come in behind him in Estrada, Morahone, and Adam. And Suarez. Suarez, with his 11th save on the year, he has been phenomenal this season, just like last year, if I remember correctly, was off to a really good start. So he is trending in that same all-star direction. So good for him. But yeah, this was the Xander Bogaerts game. I was listening to John and Jim, and while I was driving during work today, and they were talking about, yeah, I hope that this is the game. Can we have a game where we can come on the radio the next day and be like, yeah, I was wrong. We were wrong. Xander proved us wrong. And yep, they're going to do that tomorrow because Xander had himself one heck of a night. 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, 3 runs driven in, including his first home run on the year, a 2-run home run. Thank you, by the way, to New York and the replay, because that hit by pitch on Sheets, the home plate umpire didn't even call it a hit by pitch, but then Sheets told the umpire that it hit him, and then the umpire said that it hit him. So then they go review it, and I guess it wasn't like obvious enough that it didn't hit him, so the call stood, and Sheets is on first, and then a home run, and then it's, instead of it being a 5-4 game, it's now a 7-4 game. It just gives the Padres some insurance there. I want to say there was 2 outs in the inning as well. So thank you to the review there. I mean, I did not see it hit Gavin Sheets on that pitch, but we'll take it. Not going to complain there. It was just a funny moment. But yeah, to have Xander come through like this, obviously, it took him 99 at-bats. He wasn't going to let it get to 100. He was going to homer before it got to at-bat number 100, so good for him there, I guess. And it was not like it was a dead center shot. He hit the ball hard, but it was down the left field line, left field corner. Wasn't hit very far. But if you're Xander, if you're a Padres fan, you're going to take anything right now. So, you know, it was I don't know if it was happiness, but it was definitely relief that I saw in Xander as he was kind of smiling when he saw that ball go over the wall. So a great moment there. Obviously, I thought it was hilarious what Mike Schilt was saying pregame about Xander, and I think it was Marty Caswell that asked Schilt about Xander and his performance this year, and Schilt essentially was just, you know, no way was he going to try to throw Xander under the bus in any circumstance. He was essentially saying, like, Xander's only benefited the team. I'm not quoting him directly, but speaking only positive of him. And it's just like, come on, Schilt. You're not fooling anybody. I know that your role is like the PR guy, because that's what he is the manager when he speaks a couple times a day for 162 games. Well, excluding the day games, but you get what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I know you're gonna have to pump up your guys and you're a player's manager, but I think he went a little bit far there, with the praise of Xander. Because he was saying, like, yeah, maybe Xander's had a couple bad games. It hasn't been a couple, it's been the season. Excluding the road trip to Chicago and Sacramento, other than that, it's been pretty underwhelming. But um, Xander is, I know Haas came on my show and I gained respect for him when I asked him the tough questions and he took accountability and all that. But I'm still going to say it. Like, Xander is way easier to root for than Haas was. Like, Xander, he speaks to the media, he's honest. You can tell that he cares and he's putting the work in. Like, I have no doubt that he's been putting the work in and he does care. Um, have the results, it's not like we can say, like, yeah, he puts the work in, he cares, but the results are the results. And so, like, in a results based business, it hasn't been good enough. But hopefully today is something, that can be a start of turning around. And it wasn't just the home run. Early on in this game, he had that RBI single that made it 1-0 in the first, just taking that ball right up the middle. I think it was inside part of the plate, takes it up the middle there, scores Manny. And then Iglesias came through with an RBI single, scored a couple of runs, Sheets and Bogey. Adames got, on the homer. That was like the one big mistake by Pivetta today, that mislocation there, but really that was that. That would have been so cool if Tatis would have robbed that ball. Arraez with the sac fly. It was good to see him and Heyward back. Both of them had an impact on tonight's game. And what do you know? Having a lineup with Arraez and Heyward in it makes the Padres lineup better. Shocker. Because now you don't have Bogaerts hitting second or hitting fourth. You don't have Sheets hitting second. You have Arraez hitting second, who can spray balls over the field. It's just, it lengthens out the lineup. He's a good baseball player, and that's that. Like, Heyward had an impact. He went 2 for 4 tonight. He scored a run. It having shocker, a major league vet, a couple major league vets in there over Mason McCoy or Tirso Ornelas or Oscar Gonzalez. With all due respect to them, and they'll probably still get some at bats. So far, it wasn't working good enough. And 2-7 in the last 9 games. You just needed more in this lineup. And I know there's some people out there that didn't want to make excuses. And there's still Manny and Tatis in the lineup, so they should be playing better than the way that they were playing. And yeah, okay, like I can sort of get that point, but at the same time, this isn't the NBA. This isn't the NFL even, where you know if you have a great quarterback, you're probably gonna have a chance. In baseball, like, we've seen it many times where you have a couple of great players, but then what's the rest of the lineup looking like? You can go to the Angels down the road, where you have Ohtani and Trout, and what did you do? Like, you got to have a team here. So part of that team, big parts of that team, actually, Merrill's still out, Crony's still out, but Luis Arraez, having him back, that was great, and seems like his spirits are great. Listening to his pregame in the clubhouse, great, and Heyward, he's not the best player on the team, but I'd probably still rather have him in the lineup, at least right now, the way things are going. Over Tirso, over Oscar. I'd rather have him in the outfield for sure over those guys. So, making steps, making progress back to getting back to being healthy. And, I know it's social media, but I've seen people like try to get at Schilt and not be happy about him, or just overall about the team, and like how it was a fluky start or whatever, and they don't believe in the team. And it's like, are you really going to get mad at Mike Schilt when it's almost like I compare it to Bud Black even. I know it's extreme with the Rockies, but why blame Bud Black for the Rocky struggles when he isn't given a team to contend? You know, Mike Schill, sure, there's talent, obviously, but big pieces out, and you just expect a guy that's, by the way, not on the field to manage a team to go win a bunch of games when you don't have as much talent that clearly helps you win these games, as we saw tonight. Yeah, Bogaerts produces and they win tonight. If he would have produced more, sure. Like, I'm not trying to let him off the hook. You know, there are guys that could have been better. Manny, average wise, he's been hitting the ball hard. Like, his savant page is good. He had another RBI tonight, 2 for 4 night from him, scored a run. But his savant, he was hitting the ball hard, but like average wise, results wise, wasn't the best. So yeah, we can criticize those guys still, but I think if you're just trying to like say no excuses during this stretch when these key players are out, I think you're just, to be quite honest, being, I don't know another way to say it, dumb. It's a dumb take. To just be all hard and be like, yeah, well, just push through it, no excuses, just got to be better. It's like, I mean, let's go around the league and let's take some of these players off of other rosters and let's see how they do. You know, it's not the end of the world. Obviously that great start that they had really helps. And now they're 18 and 11, 7 games over 500. Hopefully they could, like, I was thinking if they split, let's say they lose the Logan Webb game and they win tomorrow, then okay, move on, let's go. But they have an opportunity now to take both games, and it's against a divisional opponent, a divisional contender. It's not the Rockies. Um, that can be pretty big. So let's go do that tomorrow. Michael King on the mound, and then don't know a ton about this other starter. I think Roop is his last name. So yeah, go win that game. You've got some guys back. Go take it. And I loved, getting back to like the good situational baseball, sack flies, RBI singles tonight. Sure, there was the bogey homer, and he hit that ball on a line. But like Iglesias with the single, Bogaerts with the single in the first inning. Just getting back to that type of baseball. Could have used some of those runs over the weekend, but the past is the past. 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position is much better than what they were doing recently. So another great job from the pitching, I thought, tonight overall. And offensively, more guys produced. And so overall, yeah, just a fun night for this Padres baseball here tonight. And hopefully they can get that win tomorrow. And I plan on going live for a show tomorrow night at some point when I get home. And hopefully we're talking about a Padres 2-game mini series sweep over the Giants.